The College Football Playoff Committee released its penultimate rankings last night, setting up a sensational final weekend of the year. Michigan rightly moved up to number 2. Not only did Michigan beat Ohio State, Jim Harbaugh's team beat them up. Wolverines pounded them in the trenches, ran the ball down their throats. I was so happy for Jim Harbaugh, the players, the Michigan alumni, and fans. This was a long time coming. And what a scene after the win. I expect Michigan to handle success and prosperity and win the Big Ten title game against Iowa and be the number 2 seed in the playoffs. A win over Ohio State and a playoff berth. Wow, that would be amazing for Harbaugh and Michigan, and it's going to happen. Now, from the department of this never happens, but I do like the chalk this weekend. I think that Georgia beats Alabama on CBS, and Bama will be out. And I live for Nick Saban in Alabama, but you just haven't had the feel about Alabama all year. And Georgia's the best team in the country, bar none. You can't put Alabama in with 2 losses if Cincinnati and Oklahoma State win. And look, Cincy wins, Cincy's in. Simple as that. Luke Fickell's team win-in you're in scenario, and to me there's no debate. I don't want to hear what happens if Oklahoma State beats up Baylor by 2 scores, Cincy sneaks past Houston. I don't want to hear that. Cincy has earned it. Cincy deserves it. I don't care about style points. Cincy wins its title game, the Bearcats better be in the playoffs, period. Some games in the course of a season are just bigger and more important than others, and last night, one of those games. Paul and the Phoenix Suns beat Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, and that sentence alone is awesome. But in doing so, the Suns continued their blistering hot play. They're winners of 17 in a row, a perfect 16-0 in the month of November. Paul was terrific. DeAndre Ayton was simply phenomenal in every phase. Jay Crowder hit a couple of monster threes late. And the Suns kept their winning ways going in a huge game, big spot. And Devin Booker was injured early and had to leave the ballgame, and they still won. The offense was awesome. The defense was arguably better. Steph Curry had the worst game he's ever played. I mean, that's not hyperbole. He was 4-21 for the field, 12 points. That is literally the worst shooting performance ever for Steph in his legendary career in a ball game where he has taken at least 20 shots. These 2 teams are tied at 18-3. They play again on Friday. The Warriors always, at the end of the day, they get their due, and they're going to get Klay Thompson back, which is amazing, and I love Golden State. And don't discount the impact of James Wiseman and what he can bring to the table for Golden State down low. But the Suns demand and deserve your respect. Last year's Western Conference champs, they're a threat to win the entire thing yet again. And it feels like the Warriors and the Suns are on a delicious collision course for the Western Conference Finals, which would be wildly entertaining and amazing for the sport. I love the message from Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. Feed Zeke. And he's also simultaneously, and I love this, telling his players, telling the team, no excuses. It's not about who's hurt or who isn't there, or Mike McCarthy not coaching because he has COVID. Run Zeke. Simple as that. The Saints are reeling, and at the end of the day, you need to get back on track after close but no cigar, rough losses against the Chiefs and the Raiders in very winnable games. Zeke equals wins, as in literally. You understand the Cowboys are 0-6 in games where Zeke has 12 or fewer carries in his career. Zeke equals getting back to the feel and the level from earlier this season where Dallas genuinely looked like a true Super Bowl contender. And I expect that to happen tomorrow and down the stretch of the season. Dan Quinn has head coaching experience, and his defense is going to be ready for Taysom Hill. And Quinn is still there, even with Mike McCarthy not there. Quinn's there to call the defensive plays. Kellen Moore still there to call the offensive plays. Both CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper are on track to be available for Dak Prescott. You know, normally when Jerry Jones speaks midweek, I cringe. I love this. Feed Zeke, show toughness, no excuses, win. And that's exactly what the Dallas Cowboys will do tomorrow night. The College Football Playoff Committee factoring in Brian Kelly leaving Notre Dame is, I'll give you exactly what it is. Absolutely, positively insane, like nutso, like cringe-inducing, like absolutely beyond comprehension. When you heard Gary Barta, the head of the playoff committee, say what he said, that they're going to factor this into whether or not Notre Dame makes the playoffs, I honestly threw up in my mouth. This is not the equivalent of, remember years ago when Kenyon Martin was hurt for Cincinnati and he was going to miss the NCAA tournament? That's a 5-on-5 sport. Best player in the sport not going to play in the NCAA tournament. That's one thing. I mean, look, Brian Kelly, we've documented it all week. I love the hire for LSU. I'm sick and tired of people ripping him how he left. I mean, there's no good and easy way to leave a job like that, and you have to do it in a clandestine fashion. I don't want to hear about the length of the team meeting he had. But the players, the student athletes for Notre Dame, they should not be impacted negatively in any way, shape, or form by Brian Kelly taking $95 million to better himself and take a better job at LSU. So I find that to be insane. Now, I don't think it's going to break in Notre Dame's favor this weekend, but if it does, I don't want to hear about Brian Kelly not being there and an interim head coach. If Notre Dame's resume says postseason, they better be in the college football playoffs. End of story. In a very related story, Urban Meyer said he is committed to the Jacksonville Jaguars and is not a candidate for the Notre Dame job. So, Urban dismissing college rumors is hilarious. Like, laugh out loud, funny. Hilarious. I mean, it's like me saying, you know what? They asked me to be in the Rockettes, but I'm going to turn it down. I have decided I am not going to join the Rockettes. The Oklahoma City Thunder wanted to know if I could play point guard tonight. You know what? I'm going to host Time to Shine instead. I mean, what does that mean? Urban's not, he can't go to Notre Dame. Look at what he's done in Jacksonville. That board shows you absolutely nothing. And by the way, we're talking about Notre Dame. Remember what happened with Urban Meyer earlier this year? There's no way a place, a school like Notre Dame is going to hire Urban Meyer with that as a backdrop. So, look, there's a lot of hot air. And the Jaguars are getting worse by the minute. And I still think it's going to be one and done for Urban Meyer. He's not staying in Jacksonville. He doesn't want to be there. And obviously, they don't want him there. Shad Khan's going to try to get out of that contract. Trevor Lawrence has regressed. Injuries are a factor, but Urban doesn't know what's going on. Coaching staff's a disaster. But saying he's not going to take the Notre Dame job, Urban, you weren't offered the Notre Dame job. Staying in the NFL, the 49ers have won 3 straight, and they're currently the 6th seed in the NFC. So, the 49ers are, I'll tell you who the 49ers are. They are who we thought they were. As I channel my inner Denny Green, the 49ers are who we thought they were. Well coached, tough as nails. Deebo Samuel, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I always am. I'm not just a host with great hair, I'm also a voter for all the awards and first team All-Pro. I'm very much considering voting Deebo Samuel as one of the first team All-Pro wide receivers. He has been special, not only catching it, but running it for Kyle Shanahan. And look, this is what we expected out of this football team all year. We expected them to be tough and physical and run the ball with authority. They are going to bludgeon Seattle in Seattle this week on the NFL on CBS. They have a very favorable schedule. They should beat the Falcons. They should beat, I'm being serious, the Tennessee Titans. They should beat the Houston Texans. The Bengal game is going to be tough. And Kyle Shanahan always beats Sean McVay. So I don't think this is a Super Bowl caliber team. I think when it's all said and done, again, it's going to be another year where the shenanigans and the follies at the quarterback position and sticking with Jimmy Garoppolo, it's going to cost the 49ers. Look, we've documented it a million times, but it's applicable here. Obviously, they should have drafted Mac Jones, and we first guessed that. Obviously, in 2020, they should have signed Tom Brady, and we first guessed that too. But the 49ers are making the playoffs. The 49ers are a well-coached, deep, talented team. Love George Kittle, love Nick Bosa. They are who we thought they were. To the college ranks, where we had another wild evening in college hoops last night. So, college basketball this season is lit. Absolutely, positively lit. Like on fire. I am obsessed with what we've seen. How about what happened with Ohio State last night? They were outstanding against previously number one ranked Duke. That'll change in the next poll. And, you saw Banchero and Duke. They couldn't buy a bucket late. This was one of those, and I watched it where, you credit Ohio State. You criticize Duke. I mean, there were a ton of upsets already this year. That Duke-Gonzaga game on the Friday of Thanksgiving weekend was unbelievable. And I'll tell you, watching Purdue and Florida State last night, Purdue is an excellent team, and I'll bet you they're number one when the next poll comes out. And how about my Orange? Are you kidding me? First of all, bag it, Indiana. I despise Indiana. I'm still upset about 1987 and Keith Smart and making that shot and Derek Coleman and the free throws, but I digress. That was a terrific ball game last night. Double overtime. All three Boeheims made an impact. Buddy, Jim, oh, that was a thing of beauty. College basketball is on fire. Listen, John Rothstein loves it. Absolutely, positively lit. They do a great job in college basketball scheduling these really incredible games with all these big-time teams early in the season to whet the appetite. College hoops on fire.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for more videos.